That's the goal, is to, with a strong defense. It's not to go get involved in a bunch of wars. It's so you actually can stay out of wars. Militarily, we don't really have any options to do much. I don't see us doing very much to reunify Crimea with Ukraine. I care more about securing our own border in the United States than I do about the Russia-Ukraine border.
DeSantis is adamantly opposed to the position that most Republicans in Washington have taken on Ukraine. DeSantis is not a neocon.
We then went into a nation-building phase, which I think is different because you can't win that militarily. I mean, you're taking a pre-modern society trying to create a democracy.
We should have come home after that. I think trying to do the democracy and all that, I think has been very problematic. I would not have stayed in Afghanistan for what we did. I mean, the idea that we were going to turn that into a democracy, it's just a different culture. Taking out these dictators and then creating better societies in that part of the world is much more difficult than sometimes we think. Has the Middle East gotten better as a result of that? I think Iran's gotten stronger as a result of that conflict. Well, I'd be hesitant for us to take sides in some of these conflicts because I think sometimes we look and see Assad, who's definitely a bad guy, and we think that the people fighting him must therefore be good guys. In that part of the world, that's really not the way it ends up working out. We have a lot of concern about these Syrian rebels. Who exactly would we be helping if we were to take action on Assad? And I don't think that we should want to help Assad or help the Muslim Brotherhood. We should probably just be neutral between those two. So I think it's good for us to stay out of it. You cannot launch military force without a clear purpose and objective in mind, and you got to have the support of the American people. They cannot be counted on to vindicate our interests, which is why it is a mistake to subcontract out American national security to Islamist fighters. And I don't want to see the United States enmeshed in this.
I do think, though, it's important that, we not get mired into Syria.
We got to look against the backdrop of what this president has already done. So if you want to look at how the Libyan operation ended up, Libya is a disaster right now. In a situation like Libya, where it's very much an intervention of choice, probably didn't propose an imminent threat to the United States. I am very much opposed to the idea that somehow we have an interest alongside Iran in ensuring a quote-unquote stable Iraq. I don't think we should be picking one side over another. Now that ISIS is moving in Iraq, there's a lot of focus on that. Again, understandably so, but I kind of feel like a lot of people are neglecting the extent to which these Shiite groups are anti-American. We want both of those groups on both sides to be weakened ultimately. We don't want to choose one side or another and strengthen any of them unwittingly. You use drones to attack people who are at war with your country. So to use them against a non-combatant who's in America and is an American citizen, to me is not something that's constitutional. And I think what McCain and Lindsey Graham should have done, they should have come to the Senate floor and debated it. Debate him on the merits. Instead, they were dining with the president. They probably had a late night doing whatever. Then they come back and then they criticize the next morning from the Senate floor. That's not the way to do it. There was no congressional authorization for us to go and get engaged in Libya. And so I'm somebody who I really think the AUMF is important.